Today we're looking at two really creepy stories about stalkers from Facebook. I'm a woman. This all happened a few years ago. I was visiting my mother and younger brothers for the summer in the city they had recently moved to. One day I opened up Facebook to see that I had received several notifications. Some guy I didn't know had liked every single one of my cover photos and sent me a friend request. He had made no other attempt to contact me, and I assumed he had only liked my cover photos because they were the only part of my profile that were accessible to people I wasn't friends with. Why are you liking every photo? You're already being creepy. I didn't think much of it. In my late teens and early 20s, I was pretty used to random men I didn't know trying to connect with me on Facebook. That's sad. I got distracted by other things on my feed and didn't get around to removing the friend request. About a week later, I was out at a bar downtown with my then boyfriend and two of my roommates from the town where I went to school, who were visiting for a few days to do some sightseeing. After a couple of hours of hanging out, I decided I wanted to go home so I could get a good night's sleep before work the next day. My boyfriend decided to stick around and play pool with the roommates for a while. I didn't mind because the subway was just a short walk away from where we were, so I headed off alone. No, boyfriend, why didn't you go with her? Because you wanted to play pool? Look, this isn't even like a guy-girl thing. If you're in some kind of crowded city where you're taking subways from one stop to another and it's late at night, go with the person. Groups of 2 minimum. It doesn't matter who you are. It's just not safe. Anywhere. As I stood at the intersection, a man approached the curb I was standing on, also waiting for the light to change so he could cross the street. After a moment, he turned to me and asked for directions to a specific subway station I wasn't familiar with. I was new to the city and didn't know the subway map very well, so I couldn't help him. At that point, the light changed and we started to cross the street. I have a very bad feeling. He continued talking to me and eventually said, "Hey, is your name..." I'm not going to say her name. We're going to go with Patrice. "Hey, is your name Patrice by any chance?" And I foolishly replied, "Yes." "Do I know you?" He said, "No, but I came across your Facebook recently. I just saw you and thought, wow, what a beautiful girl. Not a great start. Not a great start, dude." Here, a wave of apprehension washed over his face, like he knew how what he was saying could be constructed. But he pressed on. I think I sent you a friend request, actually. I'm not a creep, I promise." "Sir, you promising you're not a creep is one of the creepiest things you could do. All that does is put a big sign in the back that screams creep." At this point, we had reached the other side of the road, and I stopped walking because I didn't want him to keep following me. "You're following her. You're being creepy." He continued, "I just think you're beautiful, and when I saw your profile, I wanted a chance to get to know you better. I swear I'm not a creep, dude. You saying this one time is too much. Saying it twice? You should accept my friend request so we can talk some more. I promise I'm not a creep. Don't block me, okay?" This is getting really weird. I was extremely taken aback and didn't know what to say. Yeah, all I could think was that I had to get away from him as quickly as possible, so I just said, "Oh, wow, okay, yeah, you seem really friendly." He said he wasn't a creep like 3 times, and then like begs her to not block him? He kept repeating that he wanted me to accept his friend request when I got home and not block him. He insisted that he wasn't a creep several more times and begged me to just give him a chance to prove it. Okay. He wanted to prove it. How? How are you going to prove it, buddy? In my desire to leave this interaction as quickly as I could, I told him I didn't think he was a creep and would friend him back as soon as I got the chance. See, this is really hard, right? This is like a really hard situation. I get that some people would be like, "No, don't give the guy false hope," or something like that. But there are so many women out there that have blocked a guy and things just escalate after that. I don't know what the right decision is in this situation, but I don't think it's very easy either way. At the end of the encounter, he wished me a pleasant evening and went back to the way we'd just come, making it very clear that he'd only approached the intersection in the first place to make this appeal to me. Wait. So he didn't even end up going the direction she talked? Dude, this is like the creepiest thing. It's so obvious you just came there to talk to her. That's so weird. You're literally stalking her. I spent the subway ride home replaying these events in my head over and over and over again, wondering, how did he find me at that intersection? Did he just happen to be there? No, he did not just happen to be there. What are the odds of that? When I got home, I immediately blocked him and never saw him again, but the experience has stayed with me to this day. I would imagine, yeah, I mean, that's scary. Like, that's really scary. Wow. This stuff happens, you know? What do you do in a situation like that? Man. Well, okay, I guess he didn't bother after that, so that's good. Look, word of advice for all the men out there who are trying to not be creepy. It's not the showing up that was creepy. That's already beyond creepy. That is terrifying stalker behavior. Not behavior, that is just a stalker. What's creepy is you're reaching out unprompted to a woman on Facebook. You didn't match with her on like some kind of dating app. You didn't like meet her somewhere and she gave you her contact info. No, you just saw her online and you're just reaching out to her. And I get that some guys will be like, just shoot your shot. Dude, just don't. Don't do this. Don't message people randomly on Facebook. Like, she even talked about it earlier, that this was common for her. Ugh. I'm upset. So a few strange things have happened to me lately. For context, my husband is a truck driver, and it's gone about 2 to 3 weeks at a time. We live way out in the woods. Nearest neighbors are about 2 miles away. It's not a place to find easily unless you know exactly where you are looking for. I work at home. I'm very private about my life on social media and do not do anything unnecessary that would be easy to find me. I'm a very private person. I barely use Facebook except to keep in contact with a few family friends. So I found it odd that around a week ago, a clearly made-up name for a Facebook user messages me, knows my real name. I use a pen name for my Facebook where I post memes and my artwork. He gives details on what my home looks like, my town, and where I work. Whoa. Like, okay, so someone contacts her and just knows all this information about her that she doesn't have on Facebook. Okay. The next day, same user messages asking very personal questions and stating disturbing things they would like to do and how easy it would be to get inside my home. Long story short, we find it weird but decide to block this account. As last week passes, I have received calls and text messages assumingly from the same account. Every time I answer the phone, it's just deep breathing and then hanging up. Like, whoa, like this is stuff like straight out of a horror film. Like, this is terrifying. Eventually it freaked me out to the point I put up trail cams and security cameras on my porch and around the property. Well, this morning I went to town for some errands and my Ring doorbell goes off and there's a man wearing a black hoodie hiding most of his face standing on my back porch and then banging on the door increasingly louder and yelling my name. Call the cops. Like, hopefully she called the cops. This went on at least 15 minutes until he just stopped and walked off into the woods. Call the cops. I called the police. Okay, she called the police. Calm down, Alex. Who checked the house and around the property and haven't found anyone. I even gave them the pictures caught on my trail cams. Basically, nothing can be done unless I am in immediate danger or he gets inside. They suggest I get a guard dog. You have to be kidding me. She has an intruder on camera, like, harassing her. And they can't... I need to calm down. My husband believes it's just a neighbor or friend pulling a prank on me, but this isn't... Wait, what? Your husband thinks it's a neighbor pulling a prank on you? No! This is the kind of stuff you take seriously. You don't... What? Okay, this is the second time that we're getting an L. First, the boyfriend from the other story who just didn't walk home with the girlfriend. And now the husband's like, oh, it's just probably a prank. What is going on? So the husband believes it's just a neighbor or friend pulling a prank on me, but this isn't like anything anyone I know would pull. The questions and statements made about what this person wanted to do is incredibly creepy. My husband and family think I am overreacting, but to see someone just standing in my backyard super late at night when I live this far out isn't normal. I'm freaking out and I don't know what to do. Okay, yeah, that is terrifying, and that is something that would totally freak anybody out. And the fact that the husband and the family are not taking this seriously is actually ridiculous. Like, my only question to the husband would be, if you think it was like a prank, why would they say this disgusting, disturbing stuff to her? Like, wouldn't you still be like, this isn't funny? Like, this still needs to be dealt with. I don't understand how you could hear about stuff like this or be closely involved with stuff like this and be like, it's probably nothing. I wish I had more to say other than Believe your family members and your friends when they feel deeply uncomfortable about something they're going through, and then be there for them. Don't put them in really uncomfortable situations that are totally unnecessary. I don't know, guys. That's all I really have to say. All right, goodbye.